Hey, what's up, everybody? It's about 2:24 Central Time. I am on earlier, but a little bit later than lunch. This is me checking out new times, possibly for this podcast. So I am on hollering at all of you to say, good afternoon. It's Dr. Lisa. I want to first remind all of you that you can give me a call with your questions at 765-205-1959. You can also do what you have been doing, which is emailing me at kidscanseeghosts@gmail.com. You can also send me questions on social media. That would be Instagram. If I do not know you personally, please use the Kids Can See Ghosts Can You hashtag, which is also on my website. My website is lisaliggins.chambers.com. Please use that one. Lately, there have been people trying to spam me on my personal Instagram page, which I don't appreciate. So, if I do not know you personally, please use the handle that is tied with my website. You can also ask me questions or comment on YouTube. Some of you have been doing that. And to all my new followers, thank you. From Podbean to YouTube and also Facebook is a huge platform for me. So, to all of you, I really appreciate you listening to this podcast and following me on social media. Speaking of social media, I woke up to a lot of questions this morning and I'm happy about it. So I'm trying to answer them as best as I can. I answered a couple of them this morning. Over the next couple of days, I'll answer a few more for you. And I've given you different resources to read on your own for each question. So today, I want to talk to all of you about teenage girls and sadness. This comes straight from my website, my blog under the category of questions. This part of my blog, blog is for all of you. When you ask me questions, if they are questions that I can answer, I put them on my blog. So this one from a concerned dad. I have been enjoying talking to the fellas lately about mental health, and now we're going to specifically talk to dads of teenage girls. I remember being a teenage girl, as I said on my video yesterday, and it is not always easy to be a woman, let alone a teen girl. You know what's even harder? It's even harder to feel comfortable speaking to your dads about all of your emotions and concerns, and boys and other people that we may have interest in. So, what I decided to do was to give all of you a couple of pointers coming from me, not just as a psychologist, but also as a female. You know, some of the things that I recall being a teenage girl, but some of the things that I actually hear teenage girls saying to me right now. So, let me give you an example of something that I saw was really cute, but also great. And some of you may have seen it as well. Trending, it went viral. There's a man, African American man, who is in the car talking to his little 3-year-old girl. It's so cute. And he has no idea why she's upset. And she's just going on and on as little 3-year-old girls do. And she's telling him, and he's going, is that right? What do we need to do? You know, and I'm just kind of paraphrasing. These aren't exact quotes. And is that right? And what do I tell you to do? And she's like, you tell me to defend myself. And he goes, that's right. Well, what happened? Well, they just don't like me. And he said, no, then are they your friends if they don't like you? No, they're not my friends, but I want my friend. I mean, it was so cute. And it just reminded me of the way that I engage with one of my kids right now, but how I tried to engage with my oldest child as well from the time they were little. And so, as that being my framework work, that video that went viral, if I find it, I actually might post it for you all so you can see it. If you haven't seen it, it is so cute. And what I try to do with my kids is exactly what he did in that video. So I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute. Now, one of the first things I want you to remember is that it is really hard sometimes for teenage girls to communicate with anyone, not just with fathers. So they tend to communicate with themselves. Recent meaning in the past 6 months, I started talking to one of my kids a little bit more, about the opposite sex. And the response was, "Oh my God, I can't believe I can talk to you this way. And this is so different. I don't even know what to say." And I'm like, "Well, you know what? Tell it all to me." Because I was a young girl too, and a teenager too. And, I know little boys that need somebody to talk to. And ever since I broke the ice, it's been conversations every day, even about stuff that I may not be interested in or stuff that makes me cringe as a parent. Oh, I know how you all feel, parents. It's hard, but we have to keep an open mind. And that's the first point of the blog. If your mind is closed off, let me give an example. Your daughter comes to you and says, "I like a boy." I have to laugh because I can imagine, my own husband in that moment. Listen, it's not an easy conversation at all. But here's the thing. The moment your daughter says, "I like him," if you show, and they are watching you like a hawk, they know every single detail that you all say to them. They are watching your body language. You got to kind of keep a straight face with open eyes and say to them, "What did he do?" If you just have an open mind and open those floodgates, your teen girls will tell you everything you need to know. And let me tell you, you want that part of them, right? There are some dads who go, I don't I don't want that. I don't want to know those things. Yes, you do. That's what I mean by keeping an open mind. You want to know everything that your teens are doing. Believe me, I know. I raised a teenager. You don't want to be closed off. You don't want to be resistant. You say you don't want to hear about boys. You're going to hear about them if you do what I'm telling you to. And you want to make sure that you are not embarrassing your daughter when she is telling you. So listen, fellas, you can't solve the problem. Did you all hear me? You cannot solve the problem. You have to let them solve it, but you have to know that if anything goes down, you have her back. And that's how I talked to one of my kids. There was a person who took a swing at one of my kids, and I said, "What'd you do about it?" And my kid said, "I ducked." So this person missed. And I said, "All right." Part of me was like, I know how you fellas think. I think that way too. But at the same time, I had to get to the detail about what happened because my kid could have been wrong. My kid could have done something, to start this, physical altercation. So you want to make sure you know. So when there are conversations about boys, I know there are other kids or other girls who actually like girls. The reason that I say boy all the time is because of the father that actually sent me the message, but also typically the problems in schools with teenage girls, it has a lot to do with boys. So I'm going to stay focused on boys, but keep an open mind because I know there are some teen girls who actually like girls. Okay. So let's be clear about that. Now, your daughter is your daughter. Okay. She's not someone that you've dated. So your job is to be supportive of her. When you seem closed off, you make your daughter feel as if you don't want to hear what she has to say and that the things that she goes through are not important. And I know that feeling as a teenage girl. Try not to do that. If you are quiet and maybe react with a hug or just sitting back and agreeing with your daughter and listening, I'm telling you, It helps to change your thoughts, and it will open your daughter up to talking with you. And that's what you want. You also want to be approachable. You guys don't have to mansplain things. That's what I call it, because that's what it is, to your teen daughter. If you don't stop, she's going to be so frustrated. They just want to know that you are there for them and that you are listening. You don't have to solve the problems. You don't have to be the talker. So you don't have to tell her, well, when he does this, you do this. And when he says this, you do this. If you tell your teen daughter that, what do you think she's going to do with him? She is going to do the opposite of what you say. Let her problem solve on her own. If she needs solid advice, she will ask you. Every day I check in. Every day. Not a day goes by where I don't check in with my own kids, right? And at one point I'll say, okay, so who do we like today? And they're like, nobody. I'm like, no, because I know you had a conversation in gym, or I know you had a conversation via text. And who are all of you liking now? And they're like, oh, well, so-and-so like so-and-so. And I go, yes. And, this person is not this, and that person is this. And I'm like, okay, now wait a minute. I can't follow the triangle here. You guys are going too fast for me. Now, who likes whom? And then they'll tell me, and this will be a whole group of kids. Oh, okay. And so, wait, two of you like the same person? No, this person likes us. And I'm like, well, we can't date this person. So I totally enmesh myself into their world to get more information. Now, why is that important? Because information removes questions, right? So I don't have any questions anymore. I don't lecture. We talk about current events, like I just mentioned to you, and maybe what they feel like they're going to do about it. And as long as everything is appropriate, there's no reason for me to lecture. Now, I know it's not easy to sit back and actively listen to what your teen daughter says to you. If you do, I am pretty positive, 100%, that she is going to start talking to you more often because she's going to think you're approachable. That's a big deal. I always share with my kids personally, no matter what choices they make or no matter what they do, I'm always going to be their mother. So even if I get mad or I'm sad or I'm disappointed, I'm always there for you because you can always tell me what's happening. I let them know that I am approachable. You want your daughters to even tell other people, I can just tell my dad, or I can talk to my dad, as opposed to, I can't tell my dad anything because they are afraid of your reaction. Fellas, remember how big you are compared to your daughters in height and weight, and how strong you are, and even how strong you are mentally. If you don't think that your daughters realize that, you are fooling yourselves. And that is because they perceive you as being their superman. You are their superman. You are their first loves. If you're a good dad, you're the first love a girl will ever have. And so you have already raised her to think you don't like boys in her life. I'm going to have a gun at the front when she goes to prom. This is a lot of you. I am going to have a bat. No boys can come in here. She can't date till she's 30. I've heard it all. I've heard it all. So you all can't hide it from me because I know. And so when you do this, you already make them feel as if you are not approachable. Okay. They know this. So your body language goes along with that. If you close that window of communication with your daughters, they will reject you in conversation or blow you off in the future, and they will go talk to someone else. That is the opposite of what you want. Those are your girls. You want them to tell you. Now, you can freak out to your significant other, such as your girlfriend, your wife, your own mother, your aunts. You go freak out with them. Oh, my daughter just told me she thinks she's gonna have sex, or oh my God, she wants to get on birth control. Oh, good Lord, she kissed the boy. She's 16. I saw some boys looking at her. Your daughter's gonna say they've been looking at me since I was like 11. You all know boys. That's what you all do. You start looking when you start liking girls early. Now, girls can smell fear. I'm telling you, I'm a girl, I know. I know. And she will not tell you secrets if you show her that you are distressed. Calm down. Calm down. She's just growing up. That's all. And you want her to talk to you. So listen, I didn't think my dad was cool at all, fellas. Not at all. You know when I realized my dad was easy to talk to? When I got my feelings hurt, when I was about a junior in college and my mother wasn't available to talk to me on the phone, and my dad picked up and I was like, Daddy, you hurt my feelings, blah, 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 blah. And my dad said, he did? I said, yeah. He said, well, what happened? And I told him, and I was like, he just hurt. If he's listening, I told my dad, because sometimes that one does listen to my podcast for some strange reason. So if you're listening, I told my dad when that happened. It's all right to forgive people, ladies. I forgive everybody. And anybody can listen to this. And I know he probably does, and that's fine. But he was the one that I told my dad about, because that was the first time I really, really had my feelings hurt. And it hurt so badly that I needed to call home. This is when I was in undergrad, and my dad sat there and talked to me for about an hour, and I felt so much better. And I hung up the phone like, crap, I could have been telling him this stuff all along, but I didn't think he was approachable. I mean, he set me up too to think that I couldn't tell him things, right? And I don't want you all to feel that way either. If you're a teen girl, I want you to feel comfortable, talking to your dad. Hey, dads, don't make girls feel awkward. Let me tell you something. You all make teenage girls feel awkward from day one. Do you realize that? Let me give you an example. Let me give you a quick example. Teen girls start growing breasts. Oh my God, my daughter, she's got breasts. Oh my God, she wears a bra. Oh my God, she's on the basketball court and her boobs are jiggling. She needs a sports bra. Good Lord, all the boys are standing up looking at my daughter. What am I supposed to do? Then you tell her, you got to get a better bra. Your boobs are jiggling. She's like, Daddy, stop it. Stop looking at me. Awkward. Here's another one. The mother comes and tells you, oh, she started her period. You all faint on the floor. A normal bodily function and you faint on the floor. Oh my God, it's blood. Oh my God, she's getting pregnant. Oh, I hate periods, blah, blah, blah. Your daughters wouldn't even be alive without their mothers having a period. What's wrong with all of you? Let me tell you. One of my girls started her period. You are men. You know what? You all are silly. My husband, oh my God. Give me the baby. I'm running. He's running, right? Okay. Her dad, I feel like I've done something wrong. What did I do? Did I do something? What did I do? And I'm kind of like, huh? What did I do wrong? So you had Scary Mary who ran. Then you had the depressed one feeling like he was doing something wrong. And then it's bad enough my baby at the time was mortified because she didn't want her period. So it was kind of like, what? Am I the only normal person in my house? What the heck is going on? Then another one started her period. And it's kind of like the same behavior. So why would they want to feel comfortable when you all are already making them feel awkward about their bodies? There's no reason to do that. These are two big things that happen to girls, fellas, and we can't help it. Yet you are handling her feelings in a manner that makes her feel awkward. She is misinterpreting your intentions. Okay. She could feel better about herself knowing that you accept her for who she is and that you can handle difficult feelings and reactions from her, because you can, guys, you can. So when her body changes, don't make her feel about that. You guys are getting freaked out over these things. So now she's going to add the opposite sex or the same sex to her life. She's going to start liking other people and get crushes on them. And she's automatically thinking, I'm not telling him. He just freaks out over everything when it comes to me. I'm not doing that. And you make her feel bad in the process of things being natural for her, including her hormones and liking other people and having crushes. Your behaviors add to the reluctance for her to talk to you. This is probably the number one thing that I see. Now, I know you are having a dad reaction, but you all don't have that same reaction with your boys. So cut it out, because they get hormones and grow too. Be patient with your girls. They may not talk to you the first or the second time, sometimes even the third time. What I've done is I've become an advocate for my girls up against their dads so that they can have a conversation, and I give them ideas to use when they were at that stage when they were very afraid or nervous to talk to their dads. So one of the things that I would do, and if you are a woman listening to this, is I would share with my girls to write letters. Write your dad a letter, organize the things that you want to say, and then you can either read the letter to your dad or you could give it to him and he will come to you and he will talk to you. But at that point, you have to make sure, fellas, that you are listening, because that makes all of the difference with the girls. And that's exactly, what happened. And the outcome was very positive. When I did that, I actually did that recently, and it went really well. So when I talk to you all, I'm talking from experience, not just with, being a female, but from a mother. As a mother, I'm telling you that this works. And so that safety that I gave to my daughter by way of that letter actually helped both of them, because they were both feeling awkward to start a conversation. So it's not just you all making the girls feel awkward, but you feel awkward too. I mean, at the end of the day, these are your babies growing up. I feel the same way about my son. And sometimes it does get a little bit awkward, but you have to find a way to come to common ground with hard conversations. There are girls who get sad, guys. And they do talk about self-harm. They do cut themselves. They do talk about engaging in sexual activity. And I've talked about this on the podcast before, and I want to prepare you for this. There are lots of girls, teenage girls, who are sexually assaulted every day. They need to talk about those things. Don't go run and try to hurt the people that assaulted them, because your daughter needs you, and that's more important. You let the courts and the police handle those things. But what I don't want to see happen is that your teenage girls don't feel as if they can talk to you, and then they bottle up these emotions, okay? And they do things that are unhealthy to get through. So I would rather for them to be monitored. I want you to be nosy with these girls when you see their moods changing. I want you to be their friend, as well as their parent. And you be that trusted adult that these girls can talk to. So I want you to be very open with them, because it is really complicated being a teen girl. Sometimes you might not know what to do with their roller coaster of emotions. You just let them be. Remember, their brains are changing, their hormones are changing. They have the nerve to have opinions. They believe that they know more than we do, right? Which is really, really hilarious. And think about that. All of these things happen to teen girls while their bodies are changing and their ideas are changing, their moods are changing. So you could be that parent who is having a really difficult time trying to figure out how to work with a sad teen girl. But you know what I would do? I would just sit next to her and let her cry. It was one episode recently, I'll give you another example, when one of my kids was just sad. And you know I'm on it. And I'm not the only parent in my house on it. And I'm the one who's very communicative, as you all know, which is why I do a podcast. And my husband simply said to me, you know what? There's nothing wrong with her. And I turned around and looked at him and I said, oh, yeah, I forget sometimes teen girls just need to cry. And we just need to sit there and let them cry. It's never been a more complicated relationship than a teen girl and parent relationship. It's like a toddler in your house that's taller and more developed with more cognitions and more ideas. I know. And I know it's so painful to watch sometimes, and you worry about your kids. That never stops. We always worry about them. They worry about school, they worry about sports in particular, um, sports competitions, and they also worry about their grades. So there's a lot to think about in the teen years. So I put something funny in the blog. I'm not going to tell you what that is. You all have to read that. But it all boils down to not being overly reactive and controlling in what they do. You are not in control any longer. I hate to tell you that about your girls becoming women. You have to let that go. You're not in control anymore. What you have to add is your wisdom, you have to add your guidance, and you have to have active listening skills. No selective listening, gentlemen. You have to actively listen because you want to set rules. So you want to be that parent. You are not going to be moody and speak to me any kind of way you want to. Been there, I get that. But when they become a little difficult, you can always set boundaries. Been there as well. But what you don't want to do is make it difficult for her to address you with her emotions. Days are long when these kids are teenagers. They are, but it goes so fast. I look back, for example, at my oldest daughter, and I think, good Lord, I thought she just graduated from high school, and here she is in law school, right? And these things are gonna become a distant memory at some point. But while you're in it, make sure you set those girls up to be able to tell you anything. I always tell dads that I work with, you are their best friend. You are. It doesn't feel that way, but you are absolutely their best friends. And when something's not right, I want those girls to be able to come to you and tell you. There are too many girls who say things to me like, I don't have a dad. And girls want dads, even if they resist you. They need dads. Fathers are important. Even if you are not a biological father, if you are somebody important in that girl's life, it's you that I'm speaking to. So what I want you to do is to go back to the blog, read it, apply those things, and set these girls up for success with you as their dad or father figure, and develop a positive, communicative relationship with them. I know you can do it. The other thing we have to talk about next week is teen girls and social media. My God, we have to address this. I don't think anyone asked me a question about this. This is something that I put on my blog because I see a lot of problems with social media and teen girls, including physical aggression. So we're going to talk about that all next week. All righty. This week on the blog, I am going to talk to all of you about how to stop making parents of children that might have behavior problems as a result of disabilities feel bad. So we're going to talk about that on Friday. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Look at me wanting to be on TV. For listening or watching this on Facebook or Instagram. I guess I could say that, but that's right. Put it out there, right? Future aspirations, getting interviews on TV. All right. You guys have a good afternoon. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.